How you going, guys? Back with another video. But before I start, I now happen to have 70 subscribers. To me, that's pretty cool. So, to all my new subscribers, welcome. And thanks for watching, and hope you enjoy what I've done in the past and what I'm to do in the future. Now, here's a special collection I've got here of what I would consider music legends. Now, as you can see, most of these consist going from the late 60s, 70s, 80s, late 90s. Only a few of them exist and play today. You'll notice no popular music of this decade, as I find it extremely boring, insulting. I don't know, I just don't like new music of today. Doesn't interest me at all. So I'll start with my first. That is, of course, the legendary Gene Simmons. He was born Kaimwitz in Israel. Started off in the late 60s with a band called Wicked Lester. And of course, once adopting the face paint, which he first witnessed in, I think it was Kabuki Japanese theatre. And as a kid, I was absolutely amazed by Kiss. They were larger than life. You either liked them or you didn't. And that's the McFarlaine figure. Most of these are. So yeah, there we go. That's Mr. Simmons going on here. Not a really good representation of Ozzy. It's hard to get his face here. The face looks pretty good. The beheaded bats and pigeons. He only once bit the head off a bat. He was off his trolley on drugs or something and someone chucked a bat on stage. He thought it was rubber, but it wasn't. It was a real dead one. And there we go. The body doesn't represent Mr. Osborne. He's never been that fit. Oh yeah, ex-singer of Black Sabbath, Mr. John Osborne. Still going today, amazingly so. Supposedly back on the drink and drugs again. That's what he does. And here we have Jimmy Page, OBE, Order of the British Empire. From what I believe to be one of the greatest bands ever, Led Zeppelin. Absolutely amazing band. There with his, I think it was a Les Paul that he plays with. Yeah, Gibson Les Paul. He also plays many other instruments, mandolins, ukuleles, you name it, he plays it. And I was lucky enough to see him back in the 90s. He did a thing called, just with another member of his band, Robert Plant, called No Quarter, Unleaded. And they toured this around the world live with a Moroccan band, believe it or not, and it was just the most amazing experience ever. Had butterflies in his stomach the whole time. There we are, Jimmy Page, with his Marshall amplifier. And here, the legendary James Douglas Morrison, Jim Morrison. Never got to see him play live. Of course, the guy died from drug overdose in the bathtub in 1971, which is the year I was born, so I dipped out on that. That was how he used to look when he was first starting up. Towards the end, he was unkempt beard, very overweight, bloated on drink. This dude could drink 3 bottles of scotch a day, snort lines upon lines of coke, and probably smoke about 3 packs of cigarettes a day. That's what killed him. Yeah, died at the age of 27. And next up, another legend himself, Freddie Mercury from the supergroup Queen. Absolute amazing. If the damn thing would focus, it's a pretty good likeness. He doesn't have his mustache then. This represents him in the late 70s. You know, Crazy Little Thing Called Love, all that sort of, those songs. There we are. He was also born, where was he born again? Farouk Basara. He was born in Zanzibar, which is now Tanzania. He died in 1991 of HIV-related diseases. Poor bastard. Absolutely loved by all. I got some Queen stuff, I'm pretty sure I do. Yeah. There we go. Complete hits, 1, 2 and 3. Every song are pretty much a classic. And going on to sort of legendary, sort of how not to be a rock star. Mr. Sid Vicious. I don't know what that figure comes from, Japan, I believe. There was no English writing on the box when I got it a few years back. Born John Simon Ritchie, Sid Vicious has probably been voted as the worst bass guitarist. He only probably played on one track of Nevermind the Bollocks, Here's the Sex Pistols album. On stage, he sort of strummed the bass around, walked around, spat on people, picked fights, jumped into the audience, basically just riled up the concert goers. And he died, I think it was in 79, I believe, 1979, of a heroin overdose. They also believed he also killed his wife or girlfriend, Nancy Spungen. If you ever want to see a how not to be a rock star, Sid and Nancy, out on Blu-ray DVD, starring Gary Oldman and Chloe Webb. It was made a few years back now, when Gary Oldman was quite young. Very good movie though, very good movie. Pretty sad. And the Sex Pistols did not play on after that, that's for sure. Someone who's still going well and truly strong these days, Rob Zombie, also born Robert Cummings, as well as being a writer, musician, comic book artist. He's also a writer and director of horror movies mainly. He's very much into the horror genre. This is what he looked like in the late 90s. The same get-up here as what he wore on Dave Letterman. Scared the living shit out of the audience and of Letterman himself. Nearly blew the roof off the studio. Fantastic. You can probably find it on YouTube, actually. So yeah, Mr. Zombie. And he... some of his albums there. Hellbilly Deluxe, that's his most famous. He rewrote and redid Halloween. And two of his movies, House of a Thousand Corpses and The Devil's Rejects. Very cool movies. Still kicking ass, still going strong. He's got another one out now called The Lords of Salem. Hopefully it comes out soon. And up here, one of my faves. I've actually met this guy, Marilyn Manson. Also born Brian Warner. Met him back in the late 90s after a gig. He comes across as one of the most bizarrest, and people consider him insulting and nasty, perverted. But what I found him to be was quite a decent bloke. Very smart, very with it. Backstage was pretty crazy. It wasn't the band playing up, it was people trying to impress the band by doing wild and stupid things. Yeah. Marilyn Manson, born Brian Warner. Did I say that already? Probably didn't. I don't know. Anyway, that's my well-loved copy of Antichrist Superstar. That has seen many a party. Most of his albums, all of his albums except for probably the last two before his newest, I like him, I've got him. But he's got a new one out now called Born Villain, and it is back. He's back to his old self. He sort of toned down a bit for a while, but now he's back with a vengeance. Well done, Mr. Manson. And there, that's part of a video clip of his. If you've ever seen the video clip Beautiful People, you'd understand this. Watch it otherwise, please do. It's one of the most wide-awake nightmare video clips I've ever seen. Last but not least, Lemmy, the godfather of heavy metal. This guy is the lead singer and frontman and the founder of Motorhead. There he is with his Rickenbacker bass. Considered a living god. And if you saw... where is it? This movie, Lemmy. It's amazing this guy's still alive, honestly. Not a drug taker as per se, but he likes a drink or 50. Manages to have a clear head while doing it. Amazing guy. Actually seen him live and met him as well, very briefly. And back then they were voted the loudest band in the world, and no shit, Sherlock, that was loud. My ears were ringing for days on end after watching this. And they're my favourite album, Another Perfect Day, written back in the early 80s. Alright guys, it's my collection there of musical legends, what I consider music legends. You may not. Let me know who you like to listen to, or who do you like to sort of follow. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you later.